Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling a pretty fundamental question, really. Can your website actually handle it if suddenly millions of users show up? We're thinking about those really key moments, a huge product launch, maybe something goes viral on social media, or just the busiest shopping day you have all year.
Yeah, exactly. And the, let's say, uncomfortable truth for a lot of sites is that the answer is probably no.
Right, which is why understanding website stress testing is, well, it's not just nice to have, it's really essential. So our mission here is to kind of unpack the why, the what, and maybe the surprisingly quick how of getting started with this. It's
Yep.
funny, isn't it? Performance problems, they almost never pop up when it's quiet,
Yeah.
when everything is just ticking along nicely.
No, never. It's always crunch time.
Always. It's Black Friday, or you get that massive press hit, or, that one post just explodes online. That's when the real test happens, like it or not.
And the consequences, they can be brutal. It's not just about, oh, we lost a few sales right then. Think about it. You've maybe spent a fortune getting that attention, building hype, and then your site just, poof, falls over.
Yeah, that's gotta hurt.
It does. And beyond the immediate money lost, you've got this damage to your brand's reputation that can linger. It might even affect, say, customer trust for months. Maybe even your SEO takes a hit without you realizing it right away.
Ah, the silent killer.
Exactly. It's like this hidden cost of being unprepared. So stress testing, it's really about being proactive. It's about preventing those kinds of, frankly, catastrophic failures before they even get a chance to happen.
Okay, so that makes sense. If that's the why, let's talk about the what. What is stress testing? I heard a great analogy. It's like throwing a massive party that your website definitely didn't RSVP to. Is that close?
Huh. That's actually a pretty good way to put it, yeah. Because you are deliberately trying to overwhelm it. We're talking about using specific tools, quite sophisticated ones sometimes, to simulate maybe hundreds of thousands or, yeah, even millions of users all trying to access your website at the exact same moment.
Okay, controlled chaos. I like it.
Precisely. It's designed to show you exactly where the weak points are, where things start to crack under pressure. And there's some really powerful tools out there to do this. The source material mentioned a few. Things like Locust, Apache JMeter, K6, or even cloud services like Loader.io.
Right, and what are they actually measuring when they unleash this digital ord?
Good question. They're looking at very specific things like what's the absolute maximum number of concurrent users your site can cope with? At what point does it start to noticeably slow down? When do pages take forever to load? And crucially, what's the breaking point? The exact threshold where it just gives up and becomes unresponsive.
Gotcha. So it's less about that initial, like, super fast load speed when one person visits, and much more about whether it can, stay alive when the pressure is really on.
Exactly. Can it hang tough?
Right. But what often surprises people, I think, is how simple it can be just to get a first look.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need this giant project plan just to dip your toe in the water. In fact, our source suggests you can get some initial results, like literally in seconds. Here's how easy they say it is. First, you just go to a website like, say, Loader.io or K6.io Cloud. Then you just type in your website's URL. Simple enough. After that, you pick your test settings. Maybe you want to simulate, I don't know, 50,000 users hitting your site all within 1 minute, and then you just click run. And almost immediately, you'll start seeing this real-time graph. It shows how your server is holding up or maybe not holding up under that load.
Yeah, that immediate visual feedback, it's incredibly valuable, isn't it? Because especially if you're using cloud hosting like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud.
Which so many people are these days.
Right. Seeing that graph immediately brings up the next vital point.
Yeah.
You absolutely need to make sure auto-scaling is properly set up.
Ah, auto-scaling. Explain why that's so critical here.
Well, auto-scaling is basically the cloud's magic trick, right? It automatically adds more server power, more resources when demand spikes, and then scales it back down when things quieten, without it properly configured. Your cloud bill might survive the traffic surge because you're capped, but your website itself almost certainly won't. It just won't have the extra horsepower it needs on demand.
So the site crashes even though the cloud infrastructure could have handled it, if configured correctly?
Exactly. A very common and painful scenario.
Okay, so you run this quick test, you see the graph, maybe it looks good, maybe it looks alarming. What are the typical weak spots? Where do websites usually fall down during these tests? The source highlighted some common themes.
Yeah, there are definitely recurring villains in this story. A really big one is poorly optimized database queries. This could be down to things like, well, inefficient ways data is joined together, or maybe missing indexes, which are like the database's table of contents.
So things just grind to a halt when lots of people ask for data at once.
Precisely. It's amazing how one bad query, maybe hidden away, can bottleneck the entire system no matter how beefy your servers are. It's often the hidden culprit. Another huge one is uncached content.
Meaning the server has to build the page from scratch every single time someone visits?
You got it. Instead of serving up a quick, ready-made copy, imagine your homepage is, say, 10 megabytes. If every single visitor has to download that fresh from the server every time, that puts a massive strain on things.
Ouch. Yeah, I can see that.
We also see problems with just, single server setups that are simply overwhelmed by the volume. They were never designed for that scale. Or sometimes there's no load balancer in place.
The digital traffic cop.
That's the one. It spreads the incoming requests across multiple servers so no single one gets overloaded. Vital for handling real traffic spikes.
So database issues, caching problems, server capacity, load balancing. Seems like a pattern.
Very much so.
Yeah.
These are the usual suspects.
But the really key takeaway here, the good news, I suppose, is that all these things, they're fixable.
Right. Absolutely. Completely fixable.
But only if you know they're problems in the first place.
Which is exactly what testing reveals. You can't fix what you can't see.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it kind of brings us back to that core question. We want you, the listener, to really think about it. Can your website survive that million-user surge? Maybe it's not a million, maybe it's 10,000, but still. The advice from the source material couldn't be clearer, really. Don't wait until launch day or Black Friday to find out the hard way. Instead, the mantra should be test it, break it, fix it.
Yeah, it's an ongoing cycle, not a one-and-done thing.
Test it, find the weak points, fix them, then test again. Build that resilience over time.
And knowing these common failure points and seeing how easy it is to just get started with a basic test. It means improving your site's resilience. It's often much more achievable than people think, especially with cloud tools now. Now, obviously, these quick tests give you initial insights. For really bulletproofing a system, you might need, more complex tests simulating specific user actions, not just hitting the homepage. And for folks who need help at that deeper level, running those really sophisticated tests or getting that smart scaling right. The source did mention that the team at ArcTrace, they specialize in exactly that, helping businesses go from, let's say, fragile to genuinely failure-proof.
Good to know there's help out there for the more complex stuff.
Definitely.
So there you have it. Go out there, apply some of this thinking, maybe run a quick test, explore how robust your own corner of the internet can actually be. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.